What book makes you the most money in the easiest method in the shortest period of time with Amazon KDP? Well, that is coming up in today's video. Let's go. Hey everybody, it's Emeka here from the Publishing Academy YouTube channel, and our goal is simple. It's to give you the best free content here on the tube in the hopes that it makes you money today. So when you're ready, you can start working with me and my team, and we can help you scale to $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month like our students. So today's video is going to be a unique one. We are going to do one of those ranking systems that you see everywhere on social media. And I'm going to rank all the different types of books that you can publish on Amazon KDP and show you from best to worst, from worst to best, no particular order, but we're going to rank them. And I'm just going to show you what makes you the most money in the shortest period of time. There are a couple rules, guidelines that we're going to go based on here. And rule number one is a type is not a niche. For example, coloring books is a type. We will be ranking coloring books. Coloring books for stress relief is a niche. We are not ranking niches. So it's important to remember that a strong niche inside of a weak type will still outperform a weak niche inside of a strong type every single time. When something ranks low on this list, I am not saying it's impossible to make money in that particular type. I'm just saying the odds are stacked against you. We're simply rating these types of books on their income ceiling and their earning potential. But having a great niche is always going to be the sole indicator of how well your book's gonna do. So that's rule number one. Rule number two is this. This isn't a work versus doesn't work list. There are successful people who have published in every single one of these type of books, every single one. So if whatever goes on the D list, it doesn't mean that you cannot make money. There are people killing it in those niches or in those, types of books. It's just gonna be harder. So now that we got those two things out of the way, let's dive into the types of books that we're going to be talking about in today's video. So the types of books that we're going to be talking about are going to be coloring books, journals, planners, logbooks and trackers, children's books, nonfiction, and we're going to divide nonfiction into workbooks, guides, or how-to books, and general standard paperback books, and then fiction books as well. Now, the rating criteria for all of these different types of books here is going to be speed to income, competition level, production costs / effort, price ceiling, review difficulty, and ad cost overall. All right. So let's do this. So the very first thing we're going to talk about is coloring books. Coloring books, I have it ranking at tier B. So why tier B? Well, let's talk about speed to income. How fast can you make money with coloring books? If it was like slow, medium, super fast, I would put this at like a medium, or maybe a slow to medium, slow to medium, right? Might be medium to high if you're publishing a little closer to Q4, but slow to medium is what I would say. Now, what's the reason behind that? It has a lot to do with the second thing that we're talking about, competition level. Competition, I'd put extremely high for coloring books. Because your competition is so extremely high, it takes a lot longer to start making good money with. This is why I'm very outspoken with saying coloring books are not good first books for people to learn the business with, because it takes you way longer to make money. It's not uncommon for the coloring books that you produce to start making money 1 to 2 or 3 years after you've published them. So unless you're looking to make money 1 to 2, 3 years after you've published a book, coloring books are not the best thing to do. Coloring book production cost is extremely low. We could even say it's probably zero. Now, price ceiling. Price ceiling, I would say it's not high, but it's not low. I'd say medium to high. The reason being is there's two types of coloring books, right? We have adults and kids, typically. Kids are gonna be a lower price coloring book, $7.99 to like $9.99, right? Where adults, you're selling your coloring books $12.99, $14.99, in some extreme cases, $19.99. That means you're earning anywhere from $6 to $8 per sale off a coloring book. That is bloody awesome. Now, review difficulty, I'd say is definitely high. The one reason that review difficulty is higher for coloring books is there's less ways that you can get coloring book reviews. Now, one of the easiest ways of getting good coloring book reviews is using a service like Book Bounty and their verified paperback review service, because you're able to put your book on Book Bounty. Somebody will then go purchase your coloring book, look at it. I was going to say read it, but look at it, doodle in it, and they'll go leave a review on Amazon, and that's a verified purchase and a review. So it's the best of both worlds. However, it's a much slower process. Since there's no ebook, you can't use some of the popular services like Done For You KDP Reviews or Book Reverb. Ad cost, it's low to medium. Ads for coloring books are extremely cheap. They are a little competitive, but long term, you're spending, usually between 20 to 60 cent bids per click. So it's definitely on the lower end of things. And if I was to sum up coloring books with one line, I would say great extra padding for Q4. Other than that, I don't think about them. And meaning that is, I love coloring books at this time of the year, the holiday season, because they are some of my biggest profit producing books, because they are impulse buys. People don't think about them. You just position them in a certain manner and they sell and make you a lot of money. But for the rest of the year, they don't really do much. Next, we're going to be talking about journals, and journals are going to be a D tier. These are the worst possible books to publish, in my opinion. Are there people killing it with journals? 100%. Are there people killing it still in 2026? A lot less, but there still are. Speed to income for journals is very slow. They are a lower priced book, so you're getting less royalty percentage overall on a smaller dollar amount. Well, that doesn't make any sense. So if your goal is to make money, you don't want to start publishing journals. Competition, extremely high. So why is competition extremely high for journals? Because they're extremely easy to create. If it's easy to create, more people are going to create them, thus bringing up the competition, thus making it harder to make money. Price ceiling, extremely low. Journals sell for $4.99, $5.99, $6.99, $7.99, all the pathetic prices you don't want books priced at, because you make so little money off them. Yes, there's always going to be a couple journals that you can sell for a little higher if you do position them right, but the majority of them are sold for under $9.99, and I don't want anything to do with any books sold for less than $9.99. Review difficulty, this is definitely going to be high. Very, very difficult to get reviews on journals. And the ad cost for coloring books, it is going to be on the lower end as well. Once again, you do have a very, very low priced item, so you're not looking at crazy bids, but you're also looking at like $1, $2, or $3 in profit margin. So you don't have a lot of spend anyways for your ads. And my one-liner when it comes to journals is avoid them at all costs. All right. The next type of book we're going to be talking about are planners. Planners, I have ranked at C. Now, planners and journals are very similar. The only reason planners are slightly ahead of journals is because there's one time of the year that planners sell, and that's the beginning of the year. Well, technically the end of the year and the beginning of the year, New Year's time. That's the only time the majority of planners are going to sell. Yes, there are going to be other planners that sell other times of the year, but the majority of them are selling just during that window, much like calendars. Speed to income, it can be like, I would put this as like a solid medium, right? Because once again, it all depends on the time of the year that you're publishing. Competition level, super high. Why? Because there's like zero effort to make them. They are extremely easy to make. You can pump out, you can literally make 20 of them in a day. If you can produce that many books in a day, that's a very, very easy book to produce. And somebody's doing it like 10 times that, and that's who you're competing with. So it's an extremely competitive niche to get into. And it's also a very, very low price niche as well. So the price ceiling is going to be extremely low. Review difficulty, just like journals, it's going to be very difficult to get reviews for these type of books as well, since you don't have an ebook that you can kind of fall back on to use. So reviews are going to be difficult and far between to get. Ad cost to rank, this is just going to be like journals as well. You have low margins, you have low bids, but they're just a pain in the butt to deal with. What's the one-liner? Avoid these at all costs. They are not anything you want to be focused on. If you have a couple high content books already and you're like, hey, it'd be fun to make a journal one day, or it'd be fun to make a planner rather. One day we're coming up to the end of the year, let me make a planner, especially if you can tie it into your actual real niche. Yeah, then that makes great. go for it. But if you're brand new to KDP and you're watching this for the first time and you're following people who do low content stuff, just stop following them and just move over to something that will actually make you money in a much shorter and faster period of time. All right, logbooks and trackers. I really should have just done low content books all in one because they're all so similar. Logbooks and trackers are just as bad. They're D tier, sorry. They're just as bad as journals. There's zero effort to make them. You can make 20 in a day. You sell them for like pennies on the dollar. There's ads are going to be very, very little to spend, but you have no profit margin. So it's the exact same thing as I just hit before. My only one-liner is, once again, it makes sense if your niche calls for having some sort of tracker or a logbook, health and fitness, something like that, so you can sell it as a supplement book, right? That would make sense. But then I'd rather collect the customer's email address and just give them that for free anyways. So I rest my case and I still put it as at a D. So now we're talking about nonfiction books. So nonfiction are S tier. These are the best books you can be publishing. You will make the most amount of money in the shortest period of time, and you can do it at a fraction of the cost. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but we're going to break them down to workbooks, guidebooks, and just standard generalized nonfiction books. So workbooks, nonfiction workbooks, A tier. The reason I moved these down to A tier is because workbooks are harder to have an ebook on them. So it makes it a little bit more challenging to get reviews. That's it. Speed to income, medium for workbooks. Competition level, I'd say like medium high for nonfiction workbooks. It's not as high as some of the low content stuff we talked about earlier, because these nonfiction workbooks, they do have a more specific audience that you're going after, a specific reader avatar. And so they do require a lot more effort to create because there's a lot more thought that has to go into them. You know, production costs and effort, we kind of talked about effort, but production costs, once again, you're using AI to do this. Your only production cost is going to be formatting, really, and design elements, but your production cost is low to medium, okay? Price ceiling. For workbooks, I'd say it's a medium, even like a medium low, because you're not selling your workbooks for $19. You're not selling them even $15, might be a little steep, right? Workbooks are usually going to be closer to that $9.99 to $12.99 range on the lower end of nonfiction books. Review difficulty, these are high. Workbooks are definitely a lot harder to get reviews for. However, if it's a companion workbook, you probably already have an email list built of people who have bought your actual book. And so you simply just let them know, hey, there's a workbook out, you want to leave a review, boom. Ad cost to rank, this would be medium, right? There's nothing like, you know, it's like the average cost of a book for running ads. Your margin's okay, not great. It is a slightly competitive market, so your bids are going to be a little higher, 40 to 80 cents in some cases. One-liner for these, they can be great, but they are the type of nonfiction book I do try to avoid myself because of the negative aspects that I just talked about. If you want to publish a book on Amazon and make money from it, I got this for you. I'm running a free 3-day publish and profit challenge. By the end of it, you'll have a book published on Amazon and making your first sales. I've been publishing for over 9 years. I've published hundreds of books, helped thousands of people do the same. If you don't know where to start, or you can't find a profitable topic, or you just don't want to waste time or money, this is for you. Day 1 is finding your topic, creating your book title, getting your cover locked in. Day 2, it's all about building your book. It's doing the research, creating the outline, and writing your entire book. And then day 3, polishing your book, publishing it on Amazon, and showing you how to generate your first sales. And this is free. I'm showing you the exact way to build this business without having to hide it behind a paid course. And to show you how simple this is, my 10-year-old daughter has even published her own book using this exact same framework.
Actually, Daddy, I promise free.
You're also going to get my free support group, and you're going to get the custom GPT that I built specifically to help you with this challenge. Just click the link in the description or go to publishingacademy.com/challenge. You'll get an email. It'll be the link to get into the SKOOL group. In the classroom section, everything's laid out. Go do it now. How-to books and guides. So these would be S-tier nonfiction books. These so speed to income, they make you the money the fastest, plain and simple. Competition level, it is going to be high. However, out of all the highly competitive books, these are the easiest books to differentiate yourself from. You can do a high content, 30,000 word nonfiction book for $0 using Claude or ChatGPT. 100%. It can be done. You can have that book written and edited all by AI and it be super high quality in about 2 weeks. And that's if you don't really know what you're doing. So the production cost is extremely little for these books still. However, the effort does require work. It does require making the book really, really, really good. And it's usually going to be the post-production, all the editing and formatting and rewrites that you have to do to ensure the quality is super good. Price ceiling, these are high, right? These are the books you're selling for $14.99, $19, $24.99. I have some students who are selling them for $49, right? So there's definitely a very, very high range of highly priced prices that you can set for your nonfiction book. It's all depending on the type of niche that you're in and what the competition is selling their books for. Review difficulty, these are the easiest books to get reviews. There are so many different services you can get reviews for. Book Bounty, Book Village, Book Reverb, Done For You KDP reviews, Facebook groups, Facebook ads, email lists. There's just a billion different ways to get reviews for these type of books. So review difficulty is easy. Ad cost to rank, I'd say it's medium to high. It really, once again, it depends. If you're gonna be in something like business or fitness, your ad cost is gonna be higher. If you're gonna be something in more of like, stuff around the home, your ad cost is going to be lower. So it really is niche dependent, but because your margins are so much higher in these books, it's easier to run ads with these type of books because you have a higher margin. So it's easier to learn. One-liner, these are the books you want to start with if you're brand new or you're under $5,000 in sales a month and you just want to scale. You do guides, you do, these type of how-to nonfiction books. So I do have in my notes like standard paperback nonfiction, but literally that's the exact same thing I just talked about. So there's no point in just talking about that. That's the exact same thing. So nonfiction, you can see it's like most of nonfiction is going to be S tier, and then we have workbooks at A tier for nonfiction. And then this leaves us at fiction. And fiction is something we don't talk about a lot on this channel. It's like he who shall not be named is basically how I feel about fiction. So fiction publishing, where does a mecca, the nonfiction guy, rank fiction publishing on this list? Fiction's S tier, baby. Oh shit, there's a lot of money to be made in fiction publishing. I didn't see that coming, did you? Guys, fiction publishing is a shit if you want to do it. The highest earners on Amazon, and this is documented, the highest earners on Amazon, we're talking, they're doing multiple $1 million a year on just book sales, are fiction publishers, not nonfiction. Nonfiction publishers, they have a back-end build that blows fiction publishers out of the water. But if you're talking pound for pound book sales, fiction publishers make more money pound for pound. However, that's, in my opinion, where the beauty stops. Speed to income, I'd say it's roughly a little slower to build than nonfiction publishing is because of how the fiction model works. It is a slower build. There is a lot more beginning, just getting ready, preparation. A lot more goes into building that business than it does with nonfiction publishing. So it's a much slower speed to income. Competition level is extremely high, way higher than nonfiction. Not even on the same ball game. So it's extremely high. So you have to be good. And it's only the best of the best really, really making solid money with fiction publishing because of how steep the competition is. Production cost and effort, that's top tier as well. Yes, AI has helped reduce some of the production costs and effort, but we're talking a whole different level of cover design, a whole different level of editing and formatting and rewriting. There's so much more that goes into the actual production cost for a fiction book, as well as effort that goes into the creation of a fiction book than there is a nonfiction. Price ceiling though, it's the highest of any on this list, right? So I've spoken about that. Review difficulty, I'd say it's probably low to medium. It takes effort, but once you get that flywheel going, right? You do like what's the Doctor Strange thing? Once you get that flywheel going, the reviews start coming in. What's the flywheel, Mecca? It's called an email list, right? Fiction publishers, they only use email lists. They run, so when they launch, before they launch their book, they run their Facebook ads to all the fiction readers. It's like, hey, do you want to read this book about this werewolf falling in love with a tea kettle? And so they're like, yeah, I like that weird stuff. And so they sign up. They build their ARC team of like a couple hundred people, and then they send them the book, and then they're like, oh my God, I love it. It's like, all right, cool, the book's for free, go get it. They go get the book, leave some reviews, like publishing 101, marketing 101 right there. But they build that list and they have a list of loyal readers who leave reviews. So it's harder to start off with, but man, oh man, when it gets going, it's perfect. Ad costs, I don't even know. I have no clue. I don't know, because I've never ran a fiction book. I had one fiction book and Nintendo sent me a cease and desist letter. So yeah. So that's my fiction experience. So I've never actually run ads, and I don't know anybody well enough in the fiction space that I've cared enough to ask them, hey, how's your ads? So I don't know. I would assume it's competitive, a lot like the nonfiction, like the health, wellness, finance space of nonfiction. I would assume it is like that, but I could be so wrong with that. But if there's fiction authors here who have more experience running ads, like what do your ads look like? Like, what are your starting bids typically? Like, I have no clue. That's something I've never actually looked into. So I'm a little curious now that I'm talking about this. One-liner. So the one-liner is this. It's the question, Emeka, why didn't you get into fiction publishing and you went into nonfiction publishing? I just hate the fiction space. I hate everything about it. I'm not an avid reader myself. I'm not saying that you need to be, but just how the fiction spaces run and the different ways of doing it. I feel like I just don't vibe with it, with that community, with how it's done and what a fiction, like, and the fiction readers. Like, they're just different and it's not for me. I don't know how else to explain it. That's all it is. And I know some of the top, like I know Carla Marie, like I've been to her place. Like I know some of the top people in the space who kill it. And they've killed it for a long time. But it's something I've never enjoyed. I've never liked. But I know there's a lot of people who do like fiction and do really well with it. And if you're watching this, you're like, I really want to do fiction. I'm not affiliated with it, but you go check out Carla Marie's stuff, and she's the best in the biz, and you do that. But I'm the nonfiction guy, and I'm very happy with being the nonfiction guy. So anyways, I hope this list kind of gave you some insight wherever it is here on the screen. You can't go wrong with anything as long as you choose nonfiction to start off with if you want to make money in this space. And I mean that from the God honest truth. If we're looking at, hey, I'm broke, I have no money to start stuff with, I need to pay bills, what type of book can I publish right now to make me the fastest amount of money in the shortest period of time, and that's going to take the least amount of effort? 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, it's a nonfiction how-to book, period. I will fight anyone to the death on that ground. That will make you the most amount of money in the shortest period of time. I've done it because that's exactly what I did, right? That's how I chose, that's what I did. I wrote the book in a week. I had it edited and everything ready to go. And within 12 months, that book made somewhere between like $70,000 and $80,000. I've talked about this before in other videos. I can't remember the exact claim, but within 12 months, I hope I didn't say 12 weeks, 12 months, that book made between $70,000 to $80,000. It took 1 week to produce, all written with AI, everything. So I can say this because I've done it. But if you're brand new and you want to start nonfiction, I have something for you. And it's different than what other people do, because I'm going to give you the course for free, 100% free. It's called my 3-day Publish and Profit Challenge. And it's a 3-day course where I'll show you how to grab a topic, how to write a book, how to publish the book on Amazon KDP. And then I'll show you how to make your first sales from it. All in 3 days, all for free. It's taught by me. As a bonus, I'll give you access to my free community as well here on SKOOL, or I guess they're on SKOOL. We'll help you get going. I've literally had people make thousands of dollars from going through this free course. So that is free. There is going to be a link in the description. For those of you who are already getting going and you want to explode your sales in Q4, I got something else for you. All right, we have the Q4 Nintendo Switch thermometer. I tie my kids into everything. So I'm working with 15 publishers over the next few weeks as we go into Q4 to help them explode their sales into 2027. Because the success that you have in Q4 over the next couple months will determine how big your 2027 can be. So if you want your 2027 to be like kick ass, take Q4 seriously. To take it seriously, come work with me and let me go through your entire KDP account, go through every single one of your ads that's ever been set up, help you set up new ones, help determine what new books we need to launch and publish, and help you make this the most profitable Q4 ever. This is only available to current Publishing Academy students. So in order to work with me, you first have to join the program, link in the description for that. And then once you're in, you can reply to one of the emails, you can go onto the course platform and click book a call. You can book a call with me. We'll talk about upgrading you to the one-on-one mentorship that includes the Q4 Ads Accelerator. It's going to be awesome. We only have a few spots left and it's only available till, I believe, August 20th. So do not wait. Till next time, everybody, I'm Mecca. Peace. Fiction. And fiction is something we don't talk about a lot on this channel. It's like he who shall not be named is basically how I feel about fiction. Like that Harry Potter reference there, Raf? You didn't get it? He who shall not be named. Are you even a Potter fan? Get this fake Potter head out of my house.
Hi. Subscribe to our place.